Hello, it's Ray the Flavor Queen. For anybody new chiming in, I'm Ray from Essie's Delights, and I love to create out-of-the-world flavor combinations. And the other day, I was fixing lunch for my son, my 10-year-old, and he wanted a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I was like, Ray, guess what? You've never done a PB&J cheesecake. So guess what we're going to learn how to make today? A peanut butter and jelly cheesecake. I know some of y'all probably saying, ew, but hey, you ate it as a child and now you're an adult and you acquire another kind of taste for things. So don't knock it till you try it. So let's make this PB&J cheesecake. And by the way, my favorite jelly flavor was grape. So that's the flavor we're gonna have inside of this cheesecake. We get started, I want to let you know I'm gonna be using an 8.5 by 3-inch cake pan, which this is just a Wilton brand. You can use any brand that you like. A 8-inch round parchment paper, because we're gonna use that when we bake. And I use Baker's Joy, so I'm gonna spray this with Baker's Joy when I get ready to put my crust in. You'll see that in a minute. And you're also gonna need a dollar, you can use a deep pan, a deep steaming pan. I just have a lot of these from the dollar store from when you have cookouts. So a quarter sheet or a half sheet deep pan, because we're gonna give this cheesecake a water bath. Like I start all the videos, I just go over the ingredients real quick. Of course, you're gonna need some cream cheese. You're gonna need 4 8-ounce blocks. I just happen to use Philadelphia or Land O'Lakes extra creamy cream cheese, but however, that's not in the area that I'm in, so I'm using Philadelphia, and this is just my preference. Not to say anything is wrong with the store brand or another brand, that's just my preference. You're gonna need a 1/4 cup of cornstarch, a 1.5 cups of sugar, 2 eggs, a stick of butter, which we're gonna use when we do our crust. And of course, you gotta have some peanut butter if you're making a PB&J cheesecake. So I have a 1/4 cup of peanut butter, 1/2 cup of sour cream, and I have 3/4 cup of heavy cream, which I have already been marinating. As I say, I marinate my liquids like I marinate my milk. So I am using butter vanilla and peanut butter oil, of course both from Lorraine's, because that's my favorite oil in emulsion line. For anybody who may be allergic to peanut butter, you can use Biscoff Cookie Butter to replace the peanut butter. So I guess you're saying, how you gonna make a crust? Because you know it's bread. So this is where the Biscoff cookies come in. I'm gonna use Biscoff Cookie Butter cookies as my crust. The actual cheesecake is going to be the peanut butter filling. And then where the jelly is gonna come into play, oh baby, it's gonna be topped with some grape mascarpone frosting with grape jelly, just a smidgen of grape jelly drizzled across the top. So again, don't say ew, because what? Don't knock it till you try it. Now to get started, we're gonna do our crust first. So that stick of butter, I'm just going to put it in a microwave safe container. This is a Rubbermaid container, and I'm gonna melt it all down. So give me about 30 seconds and I'll show you how I'm going to do this crust. Okay, so I've melted my butter, the 1 stick of butter, which I'm gonna combine with my cookie butter cookies, my Biscoff cookies, which I grinded in just my Ninja, and we are gonna make our crust. If I didn't mention, you need to have your oven preheated at 325. So, but before I put my butter inside the crumbles, I am going to spray down my pan with the baker's straw. And then I'm just gonna place the 8-inch piece of parchment in there, move it over to the side. And I am going to now take my melted butter with my Biscoff cookies, and I am going to mix it together till it's like sand. Mix up, and this is about 2 to 2.5 cups of cookies all grinded up. You can use more. It just depends on how thick you want your crust to be. If you want a flat crust or if you want your crust to go up the side of the cheesecake. I usually just leave my crust at the bottom of the cheesecake. So there you go. It's all crumbly. So now I am going to take this and we are going to smash it in the bottom of our parchment line 8 by 3 inch cake pan. And you're just gonna take it and you're just gonna press the cookies down in the bottom of the pan. Just press it down, even it out. Like I said, it depends on how thick you want your crust. If you want your crust to be real thick, then try doing 3 cups of crumbs, cookie crumbs. So now that I have it all flattened out in the bottom, we are going to bake this in the stove on 325 for 15 to 20 minutes, or just until you smell that aroma in your kitchen. While our cookie crust is baking in the stove, we can go ahead and get started with the filling. And the filling should take you no longer than 10 minutes. And we are going to start with just adding 1 package of the cream cheese to our stand mixer, along with our 1.5 cup of sugar. Put that over there. And our 1/4 cup of cornstarch. I usually do a 1/4 cup plus another tablespoon. So we have that in there, and then you're going to just get this incorporated real good for about 30 seconds, just so it blends real good together. And if y'all can see this spot, this is why I use these Wilton counter disposable liners, because it will get messy and I don't want to mess up my counter. So as you see, let me just take it out and show you. It's all mixed in there together. So now you're just gonna continue adding your other 3 packages of cream cheese. Don't get nervous if it starts to like jump and knock. No, there's nothing wrong with your mixer. See how it's jumping? I'm gonna get it all in there, and then I'm gonna stop it and try. So I got it all in there. I'm gonna change these gloves because they are a little bit messy. And I'm gonna stop this, and I'm gonna take my spatula and go around the sides and push it down because I want it all to get blended. And these stand mixers, the attachments do not go all the way to the bottom of the bowl. So I just want to make sure I get everything in there so it can mix up together real good. Take this. Let's make sure that it's all in there. I'm gonna put it back on here and let it mix. I'm starting out on stir for about a minute, and then I'll take it up to 2 and let it mix for another minute. But in between, I will take it off from here again, just to get all the clumped up cheesecake cream cheese off from the paddle attachment. Because I want to make sure everything is blended together. So I'm going to stop it and take everything off again. And then we're just going to mix it for another minute. So as we are mixing, you're going to take your first egg, crack, put in there. I know it don't look all creamy now, but it's going to get creamy. Watch. Take your second egg, put in there. Let that mix for about 30 seconds to a minute. We don't want to over mix. Let me show you. See, it is getting creamy. And I'm going to move the stuff down again. Take the thing off and mix it all down in the bottom. Let me lock this piece. See, it's getting creamy. See, it's slowly getting creamy. But once we add our sour cream, that's really going to be the little trick to get it all nice and creamy. And at that stage, I'm going to add my Reese's peanut butter. But for any that's allergic to peanut butter and is substituting with the Biscoff Cookie Butter, that's when we would add that also. So we're just going to let that mix for a few more minutes. So we have finished mixing in our cream cheese with our sugar and eggs and cornstarch. Now we are going to fold in our sour cream and our peanut butter or Biscoff Cookie Butter, whichever one you're using. Get it all out of there. And see, we are just going to blend it in. I'm doing this with my spatula. Just mix it in. Look how creamy that is. See, y'all had doubt in the beginning that it wasn't going to get all smooth and creamy, but look at there. Look how creamy that is. It's golden brown, and I smell that. Oh my gosh. That smells so good. So now that we have that all mixed in there, we're going to return it back to the mixer stand so we can slowly add our heavy cream. Yes, heavy cream, not whipping cream, not heavy whipping cream. I want heavy cream. Let me just show you. Heavy cream. So we have it back on our stand. We are going to turn it back on low. And I am slowly going to add my heavy cream, which I already have my Lorraine's peanut butter and butter vanilla emulsion and oils in there. For anyone who's followed me, you know I marinate my milk like I marinate my meat. So I have my butter vanilla and my peanut butter marinating for about 3 days in this heavy cream in the fridge. And I meant to tell you, your cream cheese should not be at room temperature, okay? Not room temperature cream cheese. And this should mix no more than a minute. Let me turn this off. And show you. And our cookie crust, see? Our cookie crust have about 5 more minutes in the stove, and then I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna add this. So you're gonna see me take our filling. We're gonna do this while it's still hot. And we are going to put our filling on the inside. Well, not on the inside, on top of our cookie crust. We're going to smooth it around so it's all nice and even. From the bottom. I see all that peanut butter. And all y'all know y'all love them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. A little kid coming from outside playing all day long. So we just gonna smooth this all around, get it all nice and smooth. And this pan is what we're gonna use to give it a bath. So what you do, you set your cheesecake in whatever deep pan you're gonna use. And you are going to be careful not to let no water get inside the cheesecake. You're going to pour the water around the cheesecake, the cake pan. You're going to go halfway to, we're going to go a little bit above halfway the pan. So let me get some more water. We're just gonna give it a bath. That's my timer. Sorry about that. So now we're gonna give it a bath. And what this does, what the water bath does, is allow the cheesecake to cook evenly from the inside out. We are going to cook this in the stove on 325 for 75 to 85 minutes. During that time, do not open up your stove. Once the time is up, you are gonna leave it in the stove for an additional 2 hours with the stove off. Again, do not open the stove during that time. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this cheesecake in the stove and let it cook between 75 to 85 minutes, okay? Okay, so our time is up with baking and cooling in the stove for the 2 hours. Remember, we wasn't supposed to open the stove at all. So I just want to put on my gloves and show you all what the water bath and the leaving in the stove did for the extra 2 hours without opening it. I am lifting it out of the water bath, and let me just show you. Do you see how perfect that cheesecake is? There are no cracks. Everything is even. That is the purpose of the water bath. So now I'm going to show you how I'm going to wrap this and put it in the freezer until I'm ready to top this baby, okay? All right, so we're just going to, I got some paper towels here, and I'm just going to wipe the excess water off from it. First, I'm going to put a layer of plastic wrap across it. There go my plastic wrap. Then I am going to put a piece of pressing steel across the top. This is just what I do. Some people may just use the plastic, the cling wrap, and the last piece that I'm getting ready to do, which is the foil, but I just use all three. No rhyme or reason. That's just my preference. There you go. And I'm gonna place this in the freezer until I'm ready to dress this baby with my grape jelly topping. But I'm gonna have grape mascarpone frosted and then drizzle with grape jelly. And I will show you how to get this out of this pan, because you're probably wondering, she got a frozen cheesecake. It's not in a spring form pan. How's she gonna get that out? Don't worry, I'm gonna show you. Hello and welcome back to part 2 of our PB&J cheesecake. We already baked it before and we put it in the freezer to freeze, or put it in your refrigerator overnight, whatever you did. So now I'm supposed to show you how to get your frozen cheesecake out of an 8x3-inch cake pan, because it's not a spring form pan, which you would just easily release. So I'm ready to show you if you're ready. If you remember, we gave our cheesecake a water bath when we baked it. And I used this type of pan. I don't know what type of pan you may be using, but this is a half sheet pan from the dollar store. But the trick is, you're gonna get you a good pot of good old hot boiling water, and you're gonna put that water inside this pan, and you're gonna sit that cheesecake inside of the water for 2 to 5 minutes, depending on how hot you got your water. Okay, so I'm gonna get my water, put it in the pan, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I will need you all to be extremely careful with the pan, because the water be boiling hot. I don't know if you can see this steam or not, but this water is extremely hot. So I'm going to once again put on my gloves, and I'm going to unwrap our frozen cheesecake and show you how this works. Remember, we gave it that water bath and it was all baked even, no cracks in the top. So now you're just going to place your frozen cheesecake down in the water. Make sure no hot water get inside of your cheesecake, and it's gonna sit there for, you're gonna leave it in the pan for 2 to 5 minutes, again depending on how hot you got your water. Okay, so our time is up to take it out of the hot water. So I'm gonna carefully lift it and move it over here to some paper towels. And I do need to move the hot water out the way. Okay, I'm going to wipe the excess water off. And I have a round glass plate. And what you're going to do is take your glass plate, put it on top of the cheesecake, flip it over. I have my Ateca round cake turntable, and you are going to just, Maybe I need to use it without that. You're going to, it'll pop out. So you're gonna shake, shake, shake. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? It's getting ready to pop. This baby is getting ready to come. Ooh. And the baby is out. See? And I'm going to take this now. I have another 8-inch cake board, and I am going to flip it onto the cake board. And there you go. A perfectly released frozen cheesecake from an 8-inch by 3-inch cake pan and not a spring form pan. See? Got a little bit of hot water there. PB&J. I am getting ready to drizzle some grape jelly across this baby.
I just had to show y'all this baby up close.
Okay, so I melted down some grape jelly that we're gonna put across the top of this cheesecake. And because this is extremely hot, also like that hot water, but it's really touching my hands, I'm putting on a pair of these are my cotton gloves for when I do melted chocolate. So I'm gonna put these on over the plastic gloves so it will absorb the heat. Okay, so I have this in here, disposable Wilton counter lines. I went ahead and put some parchment paper around my cake stand so it can catch the excess drip of this grape jelly that you're getting ready to see. Are you ready? Here we go.
Oh yeah.